yellow themed CS2 inventory or loadout, however you want to call it, because in this video I'm gonna focus on the skins for weapons that people actually use and that you have equipped on your loadout, so no Negev, no M249 skins or any stuff like that. So starting off with the city side, in the pistols for the USP, we have the USP Overgrowth in minimum wear. This is $35. This is my favorite yellow USP skin in CS2, but if you want a budget option, you can also go for the USP Torque in factory new, which is also very good and it is super cheap. For the P250, I have the Apex Curse in minimal wear, but this is $160, so this is super expensive for the P250. A budget option would be the P250 Wingshot in minimal wear, which is just about $2.5. This video was sponsored by Skins Monkey. Skins Monkey is a CSGO trading platform where you can trade your old rusty CSGO skins for some new shiny ones in just a few seconds. The way it works is pretty simple. You select the skins you want to trade and you select the ones you want to get. You click trade and it's done. If you use my code OZNI on the website, you get a bonus of up to $5 for absolutely free when you trade on the website. And you also get a 35% bonus when buying balance. On top of that, they have daily, weekly and monthly giveaways in the freebies page. The link to the website is in the description, and thank you Skins Monkey for sponsoring this video. For the 5.7, I have the Monkey Business in minimal wear for $15, but if you want, you can go for the field tested version, which is super cheap and it's only $2.8, but make sure you get one with good float. Next up we have the Duo Beretta Marina in minimal wear, which are about $6, or the CZ yellow jacket in field tested if you want a CZ instead. For the Deagle, this is a very tough one, but in yellow the Blaze is the obvious choice, but obviously it's very expensive, so a budget option would be the Bronze Deco in factory new for $1.8, which isn't all yellow, but it's the closest I could find that is somewhat yellow and that is cheap, and it also looks very shiny in CS2. Going over to the mid tier, in this section I personally equipped 2 shotguns and 3 SMGs. So for the Mag 7 we have the Bulldozer in field tested for $5.5, and this is the best yellow Mag 7 skin in CS2 and it is also the cheapest one. For the XM we have the Teklu Burner in minimal wear for $2, which is my favorite yellow skin for the XM. And then going over to the SMGs, we have the MP9 Bulldozer, which is very expensive, so as a budget option it would probably be the Starlight Protector in minimal wear for about $10, which isn't all yellow, but there's no other cheap options that are actually fully yellow. Next up we have the MP7 Nemesis in field tested for $5, or the MP7 Akoben in factory new for just 30 cents. And last but not least, we have the P90 Shapewood in field tested, which goes for about $2.3. Going over to the rifles, we have the FAMAS Commemoration in field tested, which is about $15, and this is my favorite FAMAS skin so far that is actually yellow, and it looks very shiny in CS2 as well, so that's pretty cool. Then for the M4A1S, I prefer the Golden Coil in minimal wear, but it's about $115, so the Chanticle's Fire in field tested for $30 is a budget option. Then for the M4A4, I like the Buzzkill in minimal wear, which is about $17, and it looks very clean in CS2. Now for the snipers, in the Scout we have the Big Iron in field tested for $7, and lastly the AWP, we obviously have the Dragon Lore, which is super expensive, but some budget options would be the Wildfire as a mid-size budget option, but it's still pretty expensive. I would go for the field tested version with good float, but if you want a super cheap one, you also have the AWP Phobos in minimal wear. Going over to the T side, in the pistols the only difference from the city side is that we have a Glock and a Tech 9, so for the Glock my favorite skin is the Bullet Queen in field tested for about $9, and for the Tech 9 I personally prefer the Fuel Injector in minimal wear for $6. And this one is very cool because you can even combo it with yellow stickers and it will look amazing. Going over to the mid tier, the differences here are the Nova and the Mac 10. So for the Nova I chose the Interlock, but that one is pretty expensive for a Nova skin, so if you want a budget option there is also the Nova Gila, which isn't that yellow but it's cheap, so that's my pick for this budget loadout. For the Mac 10 I go with the Gold Brick in field tested. This one looks insane in CS2, but it's actually pretty expensive, it's about $50. A budget option would be the Mac 10 Stalker in field tested, which goes for about $14. And lastly, for the rifles, the differences from the city side are the Galeo, the AK and the XG. So for the glue, I personally like the Shattered Box in Battle Scarred for about $7.5. It's a pretty OG skin. This is actually one of my favorite glues in the entire game, and because it's yellow, it fits perfectly in this video. For the AK, my favorite is the fuel injector in Field Tested, or even the minimal wear version if you have the money for it, but that's pretty expensive, so a budget option would be the AK Empress in Field Tested for about $35. For the XG, the best one is the Bulldozer, but that one is pretty expensive, so a cheaper option would be the SG Colony 4 in Field Tested, which goes for about $9 and in my opinion looks pretty cool. And lastly, going over to the knife and glove combo, for a more expensive combo I personally prefer the M9 Lore with some sport gloves Omega, but that's very expensive. A much cheaper combo would be the Flip Knife Lore with the Broken Fan gloves, yellow banded, but if this one is still too expensive for you because the Flip Lore is actually a bit expensive, you can swap the Flip for a Gut Lore and it will still look very good and it will save you a lot of money. That's it for this yellow inventory. If you guys like skin content, make sure to leave a like in this video and subscribe to this channel for more videos.